In the stillness of a dying day, the camera drifts above a place most would rather ignore. A backyard cloaked in shadows, forgotten by time, hidden behind a sagging fence of rust and decay. At its center stands a lonely figure. A dog, thin to the bone, tethered by a heavy chain that has become as much a part of him as his own skin. His world is no larger than the circle carved by his restless pacing. Grass has turned to dirt. The ground beneath him tells the story of endless circles walked in vain. His eyes are dull, holding no spark, only the heavy weight of silence. Every movement is answered by the cruel clink of metal. Days blur into nights, and nights into endless seasons of suffering. 4 years, the world has passed him by. Children grew into adults. The house behind him crumbled. But he remained, a prisoner of neglect, never knowing what freedom feels like. This is where his story begins. Not with joy, not with hope, but with despair. Yet even in the deepest silence, there lingers the faintest sound of possibility. The chain bites into his neck with every tug. He pulls, only to be yanked back into submission. The weight is unbearable, but the silence is worse. No laughter greets him. No gentle hand strokes his head. Only scraps tossed in haste, water that grows stale, and the unforgiving cycle of survival. The dog does not bark anymore. He learned long ago that no one listens. His voice has been replaced with a quiet whimper, a broken melody swallowed by the wind. Each day, the sky paints colors he cannot chase, and each night, the stars remind him of the vast world he will never touch. Fear has taken root in him, deeper than hunger, stronger than thirst. He flinches at footsteps, unsure if they bring pain or nothing at all. His body carries scars, some seen, others buried beneath years of neglect. And yet, there is still a flicker inside him. Something the chain cannot break. A memory, perhaps, of warmth once felt. The possibility that somewhere beyond this prison, kindness still exists. But in this place, silence is the cruelest companion of all. Not far beyond the fence, life continues. Children ride bicycles. Birds sing. Families gather for dinner. But every so often, a faint sound drifts across the yard. A low whine, carried on the wind. One neighbor begins to notice. At first, it is curiosity, then unease, and finally, heartbreak. She cannot sleep knowing that only a few yards away, a living being wastes away in chains. She watches through the slats of the fence, her heart breaking each time she sees those tired eyes. Her conscience grows heavier. She makes a choice. With trembling hands, she lifts her phone and dials. Her voice is soft but urgent, carrying both desperation and hope. She speaks of the dog. She speaks of his suffering. And on the other end, someone listens. That small whisper travels further than she ever imagined. What began as quiet concern soon becomes the spark of change. Because sometimes, all it takes is one voice to break the silence. And this voice, this whisper of compassion, will become the beginning of his freedom. The day begins like any other for the dog. Gray skies, rusted chains, and an empty stomach. But then, a sound breaks the monotony. Tires crunching against gravel. Doors closing. Footsteps, steady and determined. 2 figures approach, carrying not cruelty but purpose. They are rescuers, dressed not as heroes but as ordinary people with extraordinary hearts. They move carefully, knowing that fear lives within this yard. The air feels heavy, thick with anticipation. The dog recoils at first, his instincts warning him that humans bring pain. His body tenses, ready for disappointment once more. But these hands are different. They are steady, patient, and kind. Tools rattle. Gloves slide on. A bolt cutter gleams in the dim light. For the first time, the chain trembles with uncertainty. The rescuers kneel low, speaking softly, offering not commands but comfort. The dog's heart races, unsure of what is to come. The moment has arrived. A battle of fear and trust hangs in the air. And when metal meets metal, the world he has always known begins to crumble. A sharp snap, a ringing clang, and then, silence. The chain that once defined his existence falls lifeless to the ground. For the first time, his neck is free. The weight is gone, yet the memory lingers. He does not know what to do. His legs tremble, unsure if they should run or collapse. The rescuers wait, giving him space, allowing him to feel the air differently, as though the world itself has shifted. He tilts his head upward. The sky feels closer now, vast and open. A gentle breeze brushes his fur, unfiltered by the rusted barrier that once confined him. The freedom is overwhelming, foreign, almost frightening. But then a hand extends, not forcing, not grabbing. A quiet offering of kindness. He sniffs cautiously, his body still trembling. Then, with the smallest of steps, he chooses to believe. His nose touches the rescuer's palm. And in that fragile moment, freedom takes its first true breath. The chain has fallen, but something greater has risen. Hope. Freedom does not erase fear. The dog shakes, his eyes darting, his body crouched low as though the world itself might attack him. Years of neglect have taught him caution, and trust does not bloom overnight. The rescuers know this. They move slowly, speaking softly, offering pieces of food as symbols of peace. The dog hesitates, torn between instinct and longing. Hunger gnaws at him, but mistrust holds him back. Then courage stirs within him. He edges forward, inch by inch, until his tongue brushes against the offered hand. The taste of food is ordinary, but the feeling of being cared for, that is extraordinary. The rescuers smile, their patience rewarded. They slip a gentle leash over his head, not as a chain, but as a bridge to something better. He resists at first, then follows, his steps unsteady but brave. It is the first walk of his new life. A walk away from fear, toward a world he has never known. The road stretches ahead, unfamiliar yet full of promise. Inside the rescue vehicle, the dog sits on a soft blanket, a comfort he has never known. His body shakes, but not entirely from fear. Something new stirs within him. Possibility. The ride is quiet, punctuated by the gentle hum of the engine and the soft voice of a rescuer whispering reassurance. Outside, the world passes in blurs of green and gold. He presses his nose against the bars of the crate, taking in scents he has never smelled, sights he has never seen. At the shelter, hands guide him with care. Warm water cleanses years of dirt. Gentle brushes untangle knots of fur. For the first time, his body feels light, his skin able to breathe. Each day, he learns something new. A soft bed to curl into. Bowls filled not with scraps but with nourishment. And most importantly, people who approach with kindness rather than cruelty. Healing is slow. Scars remain. But step by step, he begins to believe that life can be different. The shelter becomes his sanctuary. Days turn into weeks, and with each sunrise, he grows stronger. His ribs no longer show. His eyes, once dull, now glimmer with cautious hope. He begins to wag his tail, first timidly, then with joy. Volunteers cheer at every milestone. The first time he plays with a toy. The first time he barks, not in fear, but in excitement. The first time he leans into a human touch instead of flinching away. Word spreads of his transformation. Families visit, drawn to the story of the dog who survived the chains. Many smile, some cry, all moved by his resilience. Then one day, a family arrives. Their eyes meet his, and something unspoken passes between them. A bond, instant and undeniable. They kneel, reaching out, and he steps forward, tail wagging. Papers are signed. A collar is fastened, not as a prison but as a promise. His journey is not over, but the destination is finally in sight. The car ride is different this time. There is no fear, no trembling. Only curiosity, as the dog peers out the window, watching a world that finally belongs to him. When the car stops, the door opens to a new chapter. A house filled with laughter, children's voices, and the scent of meals cooked with love. The family leads him inside, showing him his bed, his bowls, his toys. But what matters most is not the objects, but the warmth in their touch. He explores cautiously, sniffing every corner, until he finds the child who crouches down and extends a hand. Their eyes meet, and in that instant, the years of pain begin to dissolve. The child giggles, hugging him gently, and the dog leans in, his tail wagging wildly. At last, he is not forgotten. At last, he belongs. The chains are gone, replaced with something stronger than steel. A bond that will never break. In a wide open field, the dog runs. The sun blazes above, the grass bends beneath his paws, and the sky stretches endlessly. Each stride is a declaration. He is free. The family watches with smiles, their laughter carried by the wind. He circles back, bounding into their arms, showered with affection. His story has come full circle. From a yard of silence to a life of joy. From chains to freedom. From despair to love. His journey is not just his own. It is a reminder to us all. Every creature deserves compassion. Every life deserves a chance. And every act of kindness has the power to transform not only one's soul, but the world itself. So let us remember this. Choose compassion, choose adoption, choose love. Because when we do, we break chains, we build hope, and we give freedom to those who need it most.